Hello everyone. In the previous video we successfully installed our Laravel Datatable, and now the time is to display this data on the web page using this Datatable plugin, right? So let's go here, and here I'm going to do one more step, right? So here I added this table, and now I'm going to receive this table here in the JavaScript, but first I need to render this from the controller side, and then I'm going to receive this in this blade. So let's go to the category controller, and by the way, this is successfully installed. There is no error, right? So here I added this create and store. So before this I'm going to add this public function index method, because I'm going to display all of the posts. So you know that why we use this index. So you can name you can use whatever you want. So here I'm going to check that if request Ajax, then I'm going to execute the stuff. So why I'm checking this Ajax, because this we are going to add this Ajax function into our JavaScript file. That's why we are first checking that if there is any Ajax function is defined, then we want to execute this code. So here let me also add this request, and then this would be request. Okay, now this error will be resolved, and here I need to return something. What I need to return the data table. So I need to add data table of, and here I need to pass the collection, right? What I want to return, I want to return the category. So before this I need to add this top. So if you want to add this at the top, you need to use, and then you need to type data table, and that's it. Okay, and here you need to type you need to pass a collection. So I want to return all of the categories, so grab those categories. So I'm going to grab those categories here. So by the way, I'm also going to tell you that why you should not use this all method in there. So first I'm going to do this through this all, and then I'm going to tell you that why this all is risky in the data table. So I already shooted another video on it, that why it's risky, so I will explain it to you. Okay, let's go here and pass this variable here, right? Categories, right? And now I'm going to return this when there is an Ajax function, right? So let's go here, and we need to add an Ajax function. Okay, so after this I want to add this logic here, because when we reload our web page, we want to load our all of the categories. So that's why I'm adding this here. So by the way, you need to first define the data table. So what is your table ID? Our table ID is Ajax, not Ajax, I think it would be a category table. So I added an ID in the previous lecture, right? Category dot data table, data table, and here I'm going to pass an object. So because we are going to pass many of the object here, so first we are going to pass this process data. This would be true. So server side true. I'm not sure that I type this server side true in a right way, because I forgot these keys. So I'm copying this stuff and pasting it here. So let me verify it in on my previous project. So here I define this processing and server side. So I need to make this small case. So I need to also add this processing, not to process data. Okay, and then I need to call our data. So I need to call this Ajax, right? So this Ajax is a function. I already told you that how you can we are going to define a function on the server, on the client side, and then we are checking in the server side. If this is exist, then it's going to execute this one. So here we are going to send our call to the index method. So let me assign index method a name. So I always follow the naming convention of these routes. It's very helpful and suggests us, so our URL does not suggest us that what are the what are the URL exists, but route exists, that how many routes and what's the name of this route. So if I type control space, so it's now suggesting that there are routes are available, but it's not telling us that index is also available. So I think we not refreshed. It's not refreshed here, that's why it's not locating this one. So now it will look at this. Okay, I pass this ID and then I need to type what. So you can also view it from there. So first then you need to define your columns, right, in the array form. So let's go here and define the columns property, and this column accept an array, and in the array you need to pass this first your column name, and then second would be the its value. So what's the value? So we are returning the ID from the controller. So I will tell you in a minute that how we are getting this IDs, and then this would be a name, and I will also tell you that how you can customize these things from the controller, how you can customize the custom IDs. We make this name, and then I'm going to add this a type, and this would be I'm naming this action, or I'm naming this yeah, action is good. Okay, so this would be available in the array. Which array? This array in the categories. So it's available in the ID is also available, name is also available, and the third one type is also available, but this action is not available. And we defined how many columns. We define 4, so it's going to populate these 3 ones, and this 4 one we will add this button later. So I will tell you that why I did this here. So let me check the code that is it properly. Let me check the ID category, it's good. Data table, pause the processing, server side, Ajax, and everything is good. So now let's go here and give it a refresh and check that what's the error we are going to face, and we are going to fix these issues. We are saying that reference ID is not defined. So this ID is not defined. So we are sending our request category dot index, and let me we are not getting anything. So let me debug this, and then I will come back I will meet you in the next one. Bye bye.